carry for Shiganari, who can scale up as well. Ikogi has been nerfed a bit, was a bit too strong of a lane bully after they changed him back to the AD build, but he's still alright. I think that's a very safe second last rotation there from Verdant.
Well, teams are picked as it's...
See, the majority of the prio is around that Talia, which is a very good omen right here, specifically since you want that Talia to play together with the Vi. As,
this is pretty risky here. Tayrod and Gaither both going low, but it's that path through the river. Needs to be careful as Obstinatus and Noodle are going to be chasing him down. Marlon and Nata aren't really in a position to help. Pen coming out of the mid lane, but low on mana, actually going in, trying to find the rel. Instead, getting a catch onto Noodle. Obstinatus going back in with the stun, the ignite onto Marlon, but he's got no backup. Flashing for the auto, will be able to secure it as Nata is just tanking all the members of Verdant. Shiganari going to get flung back, and Peng just trying to finish him off with the auto attacks. Senkuk's on the other side of the wall, gets some damage, but it's not enough. Bit of a weird skirmish here in the early game, but it's Ruddy Sack that come out ahead.
Okay, remember what I told you? Noodle is pathing bot lane. His bot lane is supposed to have prio. Nothing else bot lane is not supposed to have prio. This is what this big skirmish happened, because both those junglers wanted that bot lane scuttle crab, but not both of them had prio, which means that on the side of Ruddy Sack, they had to force the prio. They wrapped around the tribe bush, and they created a fight skirmish situation to try and salvage for the fact that they didn't have the push. And it actually went great for them. The only problematic thing is that Peng did not have enough mana.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. This
Again.
could get very bad for Tayron, but Noodle's just about able to flash in and secure the kill. He's going to have to pay his life, though, as Tayron escapes on low HP under his tower.
He's going to grab the Void Grubs. One team's going to grab the Dragon. It is going to be Verdant with the Grubs. 3 of them on the tops of the map. But both of the teams are going to pick one off. Neutral objectives, key to strength right there. 2 remaining for Ruddy Sack.
Here by Obstinatus and Senkuk's. Not having to burn that flash, though, with Shiganari having to Valkyrie on out of there in the bottom lane. Looking pretty defenseless right now on the Corki. Natty Nat has the ult, but he doesn't even need it. Tanked up by Marlon, finished off by Nata.
On Natty Nat as well, and Verdant have absolutely no way getting out of those choke points. Oh no!
Oh, we have found that Corki, and he is gone before you can blink. Nata diving into the back, take out Noodle. A little bit of a taster, a little bit of an appetizer of exactly what this Ruddy Sack composition can do.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Shiganari kind of gave it to them on a plate right there as well, just walking in front of everyone in his team. Getting Nautilus hook right there is one of the worst things that can happen to you, because Marlon doesn't even have to commit the ultimate at the beginning to get to the Corki, and then Peng just pretty much hits a free instant W on him and ends up, then they can engage onto you. Walking through high choke points as Verdant when you're trying to contest for those neutral objectives.
Ruddy Sack look to gain control of this bot side river. We are seeing some rotations down. We're actually seeing Peng go for an aggressive maneuver onto Noodle. Pops up the ultimate. Marlon gets over the wall, but this is looking pretty decent for Verdant. They've brought more people to the party, and Ruddy Sack are crashing down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the pitcher in pitcher. Gaithan looking for a 1v1 on Stera, misses with the Q. One more auto would do it. Another...
Actually, let's rewatch what happened in the top lane. Oh,
yeah, no,
deja
let's
vu.
look at what's
No, it's
happening in
live.
the top lane right now. Gaithan getting the tower. First brick for Ruddy Sack. That's going to give them some feats of strength. Just trying to clear out the wave before he inevitably goes
Side of the map, and that's exactly what he does. Verdant right here, they're going to lose that tower bot lane, but that would be natural since they committed majority of their forces up on the map. However, this time around, Verdant are pulling the trigger on the Rift Herald.
Oh, Marlon getting away exceptionally, and Obstinatus is too far forward. Here comes the pain train! And Noodle's been fried. First kill for Ruddy Sack, second kill for Ruddy Sack. Wall out all your...
From Verdant, he doesn't care one bit, and I feel like this is a very tough game. If you're Verdant, I mean, Zinzao falls off in the lake, and he literally...
Some would potentially call him a little bit greedy. The greed has been good for Ruddy Sack so far. It has been aggressive, but it has been measured. Going down in the bot lane to try and get even more of these structures off the Summoner's Rift.
Man, Terran has been deprived of so much CS throughout this game. He has been constantly had to wait on tier 2 and tier 3s now under tower. There's no way there's no response right here from Verdant. Wild arrows into on hit, into want in the inventory, so going straight into that AP, using that wall right here. Great engage, but you're all alone, buddy.
Yeah, Obstinatus, you got no buddies there, buddy. Unstoppable from Nata as he dives in to capitalize on the engagement. No one from Ruddy has gone down yet. Massive knockup from Gathan, but here come the rest of Verdant. There's that mistake, there's that overstep being punished by the team in green, but Natty Nat turns it around as Tayron gets a little bit too excited. Shiganari away, still though, Ruddy Sack with the priority over this river. Obstinatus looking for a flank on the side. Q dodged away from Peng, looking for a knockup, able to find it onto Noodle, who just gets burst out so damn quickly. Natty Nat punching other people in the faces. The backline of Ruddy Sack is completely A-OK. The Vi's gone, but she bought enough time for everybody else to clean up. In goes the wall ride from Peng. Down goes Obstinatus, flinged into the air, flung into his coffin. And now it's Senkux on the run. They can kill him.
Wow. Potentially be a dragon still right here, but it's not going to be the case. Senkux knows the 1v3. He cannot just walk up and doesn't have the flash to even attempt.
Hit the rift approximately 5 seconds ago, and Ruddy are straight on it. Verdant looking to move in, but they've got to deal with the poke. Doodle actually finally engagement, splitting up Ruddy Sack. He's in their backline. Senkux going golden, will immune that knockup, but afterwards he dies regardless. It's going to be another clean team fight from the Ruddy Sack. Tayron not able to do anything to stay alive or to take anyone down, and Shiganari slowed up dead. Ruddy Sack, they took a fight after a fight after a fight. Good play sequenced into good play. And Natty Nat's thinking about that mid lane tower, but Baron is a better prize.
I mean, absolutely. You take the Baron right here. You can take that mid lane tier 2 tower. You can take the entire base. Every team fight has Ruddy Sack written at the end of it. That's a complete ace without Ruddy Sack losing a single member. And now you see how difficult it is when that Xin Zhao doesn't get to pick up in the early game, when Tayron on that Jace dies 1 versus 1 to the side, when Forky never gets to pick
Special,
up.
nothing fancy, just good old-fashioned League of Legends composition that all works together. Execute. Been a real standout performer for Verdant so far this split, but this has been a game to forget, or rather a game to learn from for the young top laner. Tier 2's going down pretty much at the same time as Ruddy looked to push in 2 lanes.
They do have 2 waves as well that are synced up. They're going to use the wall right here to take that mid lane inhibitor tower as well. And I feel like Verdant, they don't necessarily have to fight yet, or maybe they're forced.
What can you do? What can you do?
Did that look like a fight? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, you just get outranged, and Ruddy, they're looking for the end. Nata flashing in to try and find Senkux. In goes Nata getting charmed. The Ahri is able to escape, but the rest of his team is not having fun. Noodle dropping low, follows Tayron into the grave. And Ruddy Sack in a rapid performance look to stamp their mark on this series. Game 1 secured for the Ruddy Sack.
6-0-14, 9-0-12. That was the mid-bot duo.
Combo, because he is that strong. But the counter matchup we were waiting for has come through the GP that I did get correct earlier in the game we had, Ashram, but you made me go away from it. I think that's strong. I mean, Gathan on a carry, we all love to see it, right?
Both junglers here towards the top side.
I mean, look where the wave is. Like, Gathan is really trying to push that wave to crash it on the tower so that the lane then resets, but they're just not letting him.
Oh, that is very bold from Shiganari. Obstinatus, low Marlon flashing in with the pulverized first blood for the Misfortune.
Side for Verdant. So stealing one, and then later on, if you do get the chance to actually play for the whole 3, hold up though, might play for kills.
Yeah, Obstinatus, no flash. The GP ultimate invested as well, and that Leona is as dead as a dodo. Gonna take some time, but Nata will eventually be donated the kill. Ruddy Sack with their second kill of the game, the second kill.
Small hit on his E in terms of slow and shield, but he's still the same champion late game, and Marlon might want to run here.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful. The lockdown coming through, the point and click from the Rise is always going to be working in your favor. Noodle opening up with the ultimate, who gets burned down by Nata. Yeah, Shiganari
actually going to finish the other 2 as well, and luckily for Ruddy Sack, that dragon has not yet been touched, as Ivern is over on the top side of the map. However, Natinat, if he's due a reset, if I'm not wrong right
Natinat
here.
is still top lane, so if they look for a dive or look for the dragon, they could find an angle. But meanwhile, Tayron is getting jumped onto, pulled back by the Impale, and it's a kill donated to Gaithan.
And then you look at the Verdant side, they get pretty tanky. The Rise gets tanky, you get shields on top of that from Ivern, Jax gets tanky as well. At some point, you
Not
get...
just yet. Is he going to be spawned as Ruddy have been able to take away one of those grubs? Verdant are looking to move in though. And Natinat just has to ride on out of there. Not going to be the full 6 grub combo for Ruddy. I think 5 is going to feel just about alright as Obstinatus looks for an engage. Not able to connect on the Zenith Blade. Pretty significant whiff there as second one of the game is going to go to Ruddy. But by the time that this is going to be a relevant objective, when we've got that Soul Peng to block some of that coming through, I think it's unlikely that Verdant will be able to get much more here. Although saying that, Natinat has spent a long time waiting around, and Noodle keeps just going forward there with the Daisy at his side. Skarner will eventually back away.
There's a cupcake in my jungle. Someone please help. I'm getting beaten up. Pretty sure these were
The vibe was
these were
last
the
game
comms.
as 1v1 between the two top laners, and Gaither just gets bonked on the head.
There's 3 members of Ruddy around. Might actually lose that tower.
Oh, Obstinatus missing on the Zenith Blade there as Feng's able to get on out. That solar flare, Ruddy able to claim.
For Noodle and Obstinatus to walk in first, scout, lay some vision down. I feel like it's been a much more respectful game.
It's going to hit like a truck. Verdant starting up the Rift Herald. Ruddy starting to move in. Marlon getting a little bit of a headbutt, but here comes the TP. Peng finding his way into the backline, but he's only surrounded by the Leona as it stands. Tayron using the counter strike, but not getting much for it. That's a window that Ruddy can potentially exploit. There goes the bullet time. Stolen Rift Herald here for Ruddy as Verdant looks to take the fight. Massive knock up from Peng. Tayron goes no, but not down. What on earth is that, Jax? Triple kill for the Verdant top laner before he finally falls down. Miraculous fight from the team in green. Aren't able to win team fights, then I don't know how the hell they're going to be matching the side lanes. We've talked about the Jax, but the Rise as well, an absolute demon when it comes to split pushing, when it comes to those wide map states, those movements. Obstinatus going to be the target. He's still able to get his ultimate out though. He's healing, he's surviving, he's not even tickled by the damage that Ruddy are throwing down. Peng getting a knock up in the mid lane, but it doesn't even break the shield on Senkux.
It would be pretty much anything. Like if we're talking complete front to back madness and how much the both teams scale into that late game, I think that Verdant have completely broken that limit. Now Ethan as well. Overstays welcome, walks a little bit too far up, and that finds him in that second game of the series. Ethan does hurt, and there's still Atakan buff onto Verdant.
Oh my words. Wait, Tayron just dives in? Yeah, he's got that withdrawal. Gaithan able to get on out of there. The ults go down, and do you know what? That's a really nice
An
fight.
example of how difficult it is right here for Ruddy. I want to take as an example Rise. But before I do that, hold on a minute.
Yeah, Tayron, I think he might just fancy this. Keeps on to Gaithan again, and he just keeps hitting him with a lamppost. Barely taken any damage. Natinat's going to deposit him on the same side of the wall, and Ruddy just have to run. Senkux finding Natter, and the Misfortune just doesn't have the DPS to deal with the mid lane threat. Dodging away from as much as he can. Wonderful roots coming out from Peng, but Ruddy just do not have the damage to deal with Verdant. There goes Shigenari over the wall. The Crow.
So, he's got a bunch of HP stacked up due to his Rod of Ages. Perfect.
Yeah.
But that's just HP. It's not necessarily real defenses on the build, and he's still a mage. So, he could end up going down, same as Natinat here.
Yeah, he's got a fair bit of those defenses. He's also got a couple of friends, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to help him out of this situation. Tayron.
You've got Zonia's Hourglass, but guess what? There's Redemption and shields coming through from Ivern. So, seemingly non-hurtful control mates turns into a tank, and just like that, Ruddy have no way of getting anywhere near that map.
Oh, Peng potentially getting jumped
Got
onto
him.
by Obstinatus here. He's going to pop that ultimate, but it's not going to save his life. Verdant just looked like a different team this time around. The run warp to get them right into the thick of things. And this time, it's the Verdant mid ADC duo that are going deathless, that are carrying this game for their team.
The scaling is scaling at this point. 30 minutes into the game, 3 items each on the side of Verdant. His Fortune ult just to clear out the wave, but there's another one just on the way, and Tyron is also going to be knocking on that bot lane door very, very soon. The rest of Verdant are going to follow suit. And once this tower is down, I think they're going to have almost perfectly synced up waves.
Exactly. It just feels like it can't keep getting any worse, but then it does. It's top lane tier 2. The final tower outside of Ruddy Sack's base that Verdant are sieging onto.
Yeah, I feel like Ruddy Sack right here have to drop top lane tier 2 for their sake. And just hope that Verdant pick up the waves right here for Verdant on that side. And oh, that Ezreal hurts as well. This is someone we completely forgot.
Double stun from the Solar Flare, and Verdant, it just feels like they're muscling in on this tower. It's a little bit slapdash, it's a little bit messy, but cast enough abilities and your enemies will fall before you. Realm Warp to rotate into the mid lane, get a second tower, and it just feels like there's nothing that Ruddy can do unless Peng makes a miracle play! Oh! That is exactly what this composition was built to do! That's exactly what Ruddy Sack needed! You forgot to count the minions, Verdant! You forgot to count the minions! And Ruddy Sack claim a clean ace from the level 16 GP with 3 items regardless. This guy hurts. Verdant looking forward, the Solar Flare going wide. Natty Nat needs to win this smite to save his team, but it's stolen by Senkux! Hextech Soul for Verdant! I think it's the fight for Verdant as well! Marlon just trying to disrupt a little bit of what they're doing, but Obstinatus goes forward regardless. It's a nice looking bullet time, but it's nowhere near as good as the last one. Nata flashing forward to try and save his team, but I don't think he can. It looked like Verdant had fumbled the comeback, but they snatch it right back, and they are going to send us to game 3.
Yeah, they're keeping Nata busy here as well. 3 members of Verdant while the base is being flooded with blue minions. Can Gaithan defend? The answer is no! And we're gonna be going into a game 3.
You take your time, you wait with patience, and then strike at the opportune moment. Verdant even up the series and send us to match points.
Woo.
A lot of AP.
You just take the weak side. I do think that's fair enough. All of a sudden, though, Shigenari's role in this game becomes so much more clear. But then again, the lineup of Ruddy Sack isn't very tanky, so it doesn't really matter that you only have one.
Falls down. So I feel like Natinat has one target. One target is Shigenari, but hold on, talking about him.
Oh
Okay.
dear.
Simple
Well,
as.
the target on his forehead for Tayron getting into that backline. I like this from Natty Nat, though, recognises that he's got no chance in hell of getting anything around that Dragon Pit. Instead goes and picks up these grubs without too much of a contest.
Yeah, I'm just still very worried about Natinat. He does have his level 6 right now. However, the most successful job, this is what Bard does the best. He roams the map, however, he will be spotted, but his sweeper will not spot. The ward right there, however, Tayron, I think, is all alone on this one.
Yeah, no way out. Drops down man in the top lane.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like specifically for looking at around flanks, talking about flanks, Noodle is looking for bot side.
Yeah, I think Nat is dead here. I think Nata is dead as a dodo. Obstinata's getting locked down. That tower doing so much work. There goes the Fate Sealed. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic from Marlon. Obstinata's just about able to get away, but I don't think Shigenari is going to be as lucky. There goes that magical journey, but no further chase going on for Natty Nat. Drops the Cataclysm on Obstinatus' head.
The Avengers have assembled down the bot lane and they're looking at Nata again.
Yeah, it does have that Chains of Corruption available. He's able to get the flash away, dodges out of that knockup actually, but he's still going to get shot down in the end. Natty Nat, though, presenting a target to Verdant. Wave is starting to come in. Shigenari just popping that reload. Teleport is going to be used as well. Verdant going for the dive before any assistance can join. Push back from Senkux, but he will not be able to save Noodle's life. It's actually a double kill for Peng, as Verdant are getting much more out of this than they would have bargained, and they are not enjoying it. It's a triple kill for the Aurora. And it's not right.
She's not as prominent right now to 100% to zero you, but if she does get ahead of the curve, she's still a pretty dangerous burst mage. And now, loot is completed for Peng as well. That's a Fuse Splash available as well. And as you can see again, Verdant used for the kills to come through. Obstinato's in a really great flank right here. Can he find the angle?
This is absolutely lovely. Getting the charm onto one. It's Peng. It's that priority target. The Aurora, you need to lock down. Oh, that tempered fate was beautiful from Marlon. Exceptional bard play coming out from the Ruddy Sack support. And they're going to get so much with this.
Try and pull ahead.
And I mean, that's exactly what Ruddy Sack are doing right now. He's going to be able to push that top lane tower. Nata dodges away.
Members on the bot side of the map, and on the contrary, look on the other side of the minimap, it's going to be 3 members from Ruddy Sack pushing that top lane and then heading straight towards that Rift Herald to try and handshake neutral objective with that objective down the bot lane, which was their first tower. 1 main feature strength this time around. He was secured by neutral objectives in kills for Ruddy Sack earlier on. They are, however, looking to deprive from the side of Ruddy Sack, of course, Verdant.
Ruddy Sack as it stands. And so if she is not fully unlocked, then things look a lot better for Verdant. They're starting to pick up some gold with these towers and with these kills. Nata ripped off the rift before assistance could be offered from Marlon. And with this Herald being summoned in the mid lane, that's a tower going in favor of Verdant. Might look for a second charge as well, but Ruddy standing strong for the time being. Natty Nat is taking a long time to take down that dragon, and all the while, structures in the mid lane are taking a fair beating.
That was a pretty good trade right there, specifically for Verdant. Most likely going to be the case right here. He's looking at him, he's thinking about it, and he is gonna do it if you let him.
Yeah, he's spotted by the blue wards, although that is going to give Ruddy Sack the opportunity to take some damage onto this mid lane tower, but Verdant responding wonderfully. It's a decent sized shuffle from Senkux. Multiple men locked in that Cataclysm, as here comes Gaithan to clean up the health bars. Tayron throws down the ultimate, not quite a party cask. He's not enjoying the way that this team fight has gone. Ruddy Sack already ripping away 3 members of Verdant, looking to make it a 4th as they chase down this Gragas. And just as it looked like Ruddy Sack was starting to slow the tempo, they find another win in a team fight.
From being able to walk forward and capitalize on those low HP bars. Now, I don't know if Shigenari wants to be there.
Yeah, you need to be very careful here, mate. There goes Obstinatus with a knock-up for a little bit of peel, but the Jhin is still being chased down. The Cataclysm dropped on his head. And Ruddy Sack will make him dead. A long buff is going to be theirs. Easy as you like.
Honestly, I absolutely doubted that this Jarvan was going to be able to find targets with how slippery Verdant is as late game champions. Gragas going more for a tanky build as well. He will be that frontline they want.
Oh no.
Senkux, no flash.
Oh, it's happened again. Yeah, he's able to put up that Emperor's Divide, but Gaithan's still trying to find access. There goes Peng! Godlike from the Aurora. It's been the point. And Ruddy Sack, they have really gripped this series by the scruff of the neck. They are looking in cruise control.
Honestly, if I'm saying only, because that's what it still was a couple of minutes ago, a 6,000 gold lead. Majority of that lead in the mid jungle.
Noodle! Oh, you can't do that! Oh, you can't do that! Oh, Verdant are falling apart at the seams. And Ruddy Sack are more than happy to pick up the pieces. Jungler dead for 30 seconds just as Baron spawned. It could not be timed better. Wonderful tempered fate from Marlon. An exceptional performance from the Ruddy Sack support.
Pick. Tayron and Shigenari, they're looking for someone, for something, for a shot. Oh, there's the shot.
They're able to find Peng, but can they get any more? Tayron going in, the Baron going down, Obstinatus following his top laner into the grave. Now Shigenari's on the run, the respawns have come through. There are members of Verdant moving over to try and help out the ADC, but I think he might just be doomed. Unstoppable from Gaithan. He has put on a performance. The bot lane tier 2 completely undefended by Verdant. They recognize that they've got no business stepping up to try and prevent that tower from falling down. That's the first of those tier 2s felled by Ruddy. They're looking for a second in the mid lane. It just feels like there's nothing Verdant can do. Having to dash away defensively, the Gragas and the Sejuani, not the direction they want to be going. But a microcosm of how this game has been going.
What's Peng's inventory? There's a new hat coming in for the bunny. Waiting, TP, there you go.
Rabadon's death cap. Those one-shots are going to be even more one-shotty. Only 2 pushing in the mid lane as Senkux looks to get picked here. Another excellent ultimate from Marlon, leading into the stun, leading into the knock-up, leading into everything else. Gathan diving into the base alongside Natty Nat. Everyone diving into the base alongside Natty Nats. And Ruddy, unrelenting in their aggression. They've got the bit between their teeth, and they are not letting go.
I just have to say, what a fantastic performance. I'm Marlon on this bar. This game is as good as gone. They still have so many minions pushing the base. And they want the last 2 kills as well. Tayron, tanky enough, big enough. He's gonna go down no matter what. And Verdant are gonna be walking straight down that lower bracket as Ruddy take the series 2-1.